because you might have gathered as outsiders, we are the antithesis, the absolute antithesis of ABC insiders, with their snooze-a-thon talking about the minutiae of what happened in the Senate and parliamentary stuff. We're out here on the big issues, but we do want to make a comment about the Matt Price Award that was just moments ago awarded to Christopher Pyne and Richard Marles on the ABC Insiders. The Matt Price Award remembers a terribly treacherous journalist from the press gallery, typical of the genre. He's been dead for a decade. And Barry Cassidy awarded it, but really, Barry, you should have been giving it to yourself for this clanger just 1 month ago in reference to the US presidential result.
If he continues on, it'll be the most one-sided election since Reagan's in '84, you would think.
Well, that's why we call this segment 525 versus 13, because Reagan versus Mondale in 1984 was a landslide of that dimension. So there's poor old Barry, the George Hamilton lookalike, thinking that it was going to be Hillary Clinton 525 electoral college votes, Donald Trump just 13. And, of course, what we've had since the election, I expected the left on the ABC and Fairfax to blame the deplorables, the racist, homophobic, bigoted voters of the United States, the working people. I didn't expect for a moment, colleagues, that they'd come up with this post-truth analysis. Everywhere you listen now on the ABC and Fairfax, it's all about fake news, post-truth. Well, let's just see what sort of truthfulness they gave the Australian people in predicting and indeed reporting on the election result on election day. There's Barry Cassidy. Trump cannot win. The nightmare is over. That was on the morning of the election, before they'd even counted a vote. That's what they call real fake news. And, of course, in the Sydney Morning Herald, the hateful Paul McGough saying that Donald Trump will not be the president of the American people. They're going to wake up from a nightmare. So it's an amazing hypocrisy, an absolute piece of cant for the people who for 18 months demonised Trump, said he was unelectable, said he was deplorable, even on election morning said the election was already over before a vote had been counted, to now be lecturing us, the Australian people, about truthfulness and what constitutes real and fake news. An amazing hypocrisy.
Look, I just think the question that needs to be asked is on a 50-50 bet. It was either Trump or Hillary, right? It was either red or black. Let's say we've got 100 full-time professional political analysts at the ABC. You know, we've probably got another 60 or 70 at Fairfax Media. And yet not a single one of them could land on the right answer, not one. And so what that tells you is not that the analysis was just sort of factually flawed on this occasion, but it tells you something about them was congenitally unable to sort of turn their face towards...
Well, some work in several institutions and overlap. For example, John Barron, who's at the ABC, is also at the US Studies Centre, and a fact checker to boot. Obviously got that particular fact wrong, but Mark has touched on a fascinating thing, that rather than saying, oh my God, we got it wrong, they've gone post-truth, fake news. Hang on, we're now in a new era where the truth is not the truth that we told you it was, so therefore the deplorables now are being blamed. There was an article in the Sydney Morning Herald yesterday saying that post-truth is a consequence of all that bad Trump stuff, that all the Trump people created this post-truth world. No. Yeah. Post-truth was created by the left. They've been creating it for decades. They've been creating it on so many issues, whether it's climate change or whether it's Israel or whether it's asylum seekers, whatever it might be. They've created this world of post-truth where they tell us their version and their version is it, and no one hears an alternative
they can't
version.
accept that the Trump voters were observing things, were astute, knew what was going on in American politics and made an informed judgment. They're saying they were lied to, deceived, all this Facebook material, totally conned them and put them into a parallel universe. Well, you mentioned John Barron there, doubly deluded because he's at the ABC and the Confusion Centre. Indeed, on the ABC Drum program on Thursday, he was complaining about the post-truth world. He had James Massola there from Fairfax saying, and I quote, "We're at a point where people increasingly are able to choose their facts and conflate them with their opinions." And that's not a good place to be. Just moments later, a fellow called Ali Qadri from the Islamic Council of Queensland said this, and this is exactly what he said. Peter Dutton is obsessed with making concentration camps. So the inference, the slur on the immigration minister is that he's lining up ethnic groups to be gassed in concentration. Sure. And of course, Barron and Massola sit there.
They would have pounced on it and pointed out,
totally mute. Apparently this is the sort of thing that in a post-truth world is allowed to stand as a fact. Absolutely disgraceful.
And on that, I think we better take a quick commercial break. And you're with The Outsiders, Ross Cameron, Mark Latham and Rowan Dean. And we'll be back after this break. Please stay with us. Don't go away, or at least don't...